Will Elon Musk be using Dogecoin on Twitter or on X, I should say? Question everything, trust nothing. Welcome to Debate Crypto. It's your boys, Keeper and Crusader, here for another episode of Magic Money Monday. Crusader, what's up, brother?
Tiburon, bro. I'm excited. You know, these are my favorite episodes of the week. And now with Trading Wars coming here soon, it's going to be a big change, but it's going to be very exciting. So, dude, I'm excited.
Yeah, we actually have a couple people on the stream that we need to talk to a little bit further about the upcoming Trading Wars. We have a little meeting afterwards, so we'll talk to them about that. Let's bring on the guest. This is somebody we haven't had on before, but a good friend of the show, business partner. We've got the Bullish Trader. Bullish, what's up, brother?
What's up, guys? What's up, Keeper? What's up, Crusader?
Glad that you are here, brother. Looking forward to having you on. Heck yeah, we're going to have some fun today. We've got Aldo in the house. What's up, Evan?
What is up? Thanks again. Great to be on. Hope you guys are doing well.
Glad that you are on, brother. And as always, longtime friend of the show, AJ Writes Crypto. AJ,
hey,
what's up, brother?
What's poppin'? Glad to be here. Dude, just excited to get into this thing. What are we looking at today, boys?
Well, we actually brought you on here to ambush you. We want to know all of the details. No, I'm just kidding. We are excited to see the move, though. If the people haven't heard, you're making a move, right, AJ? What do you got going on, bro?
So Ben and I were gonna just basically start from zero, man. Like, we're rebuilding completely, and I think it makes sense because like that's the sentiment for so many people in crypto right now. Like, it's been a long, terrible, sad bear market for so many people. And like the start from zero, let's go right now idea, resonates with a lot of people. And like, when I say like I'm restarting, like I'm not kidding, like I'm restarting, you know? So yeah. I'm excited to get into it. Like I'm already like on the phone with some people. I haven't even really put out the link for my own YouTube page yet. I have a really good following on Twitter. But I can't wait to just get it going on YouTube and see someone has something in the background. But I'm excited.
Yeah. Hey, Bullish, can you mute when you're not talking for us, please? That's
Yeah. My bad.
All right, so Crypto Fam, glad that you are here. Let me jump into the chat real quick and say hello to everybody. Let's see who was first. Darren Does Things. We always want to know what Darren does, but Darren likes to talk Bitcoin, so he's here. Darren, glad that you're here. Smash those likes, family, if you haven't. Green Day Profits in the house, Action Crypto, Patriot Caveman, Joe Mama. I didn't realize my mom was in the house, but she's here apparently. Ray Gutowski, FU, longtime DCA fam. The Butsinator, haven't seen that one. That must be one of your boys, AJ. If it's a name like the Butsinator, it's got to be with AJ.
Okay, bro.
Oh, shots fired. Crypto Allen, a house, Mr. Blake, Print 3D. Hey, Print 3D, good to see you, brother. And then let's see, we got the ex-Fed man. Wonder if we could ask him some stuff about what's going on in the Fed right now. Mike Lowry. Hey, we got a lot of people in the house excited about the stream today. Let's start off with the markets. Let's see what's going on there. We always start. See if things are bullish or bearish. We're not going to start with the fear and greed index. We have got, let me update. Drum roll, please. The global crypto market cap's at 1.05 trillion with a T dollars. That's up 0.03%. Pretty freaking boring. Bitcoin, 26,299.86, down about 1%. ETH, 1588, down just barely over 0.06%. Tether, oh boy, it's bailing. It's at 99 cents. BNB's at 209. XRP to the moon. Is that $5, Crusader? I'm seeing here. Is that 50 cents? I'm getting a little confused here. 50 cents?
Yeah, definitely not $5, bro. That's only in hopes and dreams.
Dogecoin at 6 cents. We're going to talk about Dogecoin later on today. Cardano still struggling at 24 cents, but I think that might be something that we're definitely looking to possibly stack some more on. Solana at 1951, just under 20 bucks, and Toncoin at $2.17. All right, cool. So that's an update on the markets. Crusader, I know we brought the experts on to do TA, but you've been working on your TA. So why don't you show the experts a little bit of the TA love you got going on? Show me macro-wise what's going on with Bitcoin, brother.
Yeah, let me show you here what I got. So it's pretty simple. I mean, there has been an update to the regression trend It was a bit outdated, but we're basically at the bottom of the yearly regression trend here. And this yearly range, we're right above the point of control right now, right? And once again, like I told you, when we reclaimed this annual pivot, we needed to hold it. We did, and we came back down. The only saving grace here is this. We set this new low, right, when we wicked all the way down here to the 24,000 level. Then we set a high, but now we set a lower high. I mean, a higher low. We set up a higher low over here from here, and now we have a lower high from here. But once again, we have another higher low. This is the moment that I feel like we're heading to that apex moment where we have to decide, are we going to finally break up and make a new higher high, or are we going to break down and set a new lower low? And I think that has to do with the expiration options happening at the end of this week, right? We're riding the bottom of this regression trend. We're about to hit, it almost builds in a triangle right here on its own, just with this annual PIV and the regression itself. And it's been respecting that so far. So I feel like that's going to happen sometime this week. Maybe a little bit later, maybe a little bit longer. I don't know, but it's going to happen any minute now. We're going to either break up or break all the way down. And if we break down, you better hope we don't break below this 24/7, because if we do,
we're
buckle
tumbling.
up, right? It's gonna get ugly fast. So
yeah. Hey, listen, there's always opportunity in the crypto markets. Sometimes they don't feel like an opportunity. We're not here to give financial advice, but should we see some lower price action, ladies and gentlemen, maybe you look at it as just that. An opportunity to dollar cost average lower, or maybe position yourself for a good trade. That's why we bring on the traders here. Real quick, before I ask the first question, I'm gonna start off with you, Bullish. But before we do, I want to remind everybody in here, we have got the biggest, best, badass show coming in crypto. So I want to announce this right now. And Bullish and AJ, we actually need to have a chat with you about this. But let me just tell you the overview, right? Effectively, we have, let me tell you who's committed so far right quick. Ben Armstrong, Crypto Face, Evan Aldo, Magic Internet Money, Frankie Candles, Crypto Crow, Crypto Blood, Gareth Soloway, Crypto Lifer, and CVO. That is going to be, looks like the first season of Trading Wars. And I'm super freaking excited about it. So what's it going to be? We are going to have teams of 5. I'm drafting 5 people. Crusader is going to draft 5 people. Actually, it looks like 2 teams of Keeper today, since Crusader hasn't figured out how to change his name on the on the screen. So basically, I get all 10, right? So I win either way. So I have 5. Crusader has 5. And we're going to come on Mondays and Thursdays like we do currently, except for we're putting everybody to the test. Everybody has 1 hour to effectively get in and out of as few or as many trades as they possibly can. We have an exchange that's sponsoring us to do this. The exchange is sponsoring us, and they're giving each of the traders a set amount of money to be able to trade with. They're going to give them $1,000 to start. Okay. That gives everybody the opportunity to make some money, have some fun. They can work together as a team. They can not work so well together as a team. They can use their own leverage. They can make suggestions between each other, work together, whatever they want to do. They've got an hour. They've got to be in and out of trades. And we know that we're pressing these traders. Not everybody trades like this, right? So it's going to really press the limits of what we can do in trading. And then we're going to basically use it as a small football season. It's going to go 4 weeks in a row at a time of 10 traders, where we're going to compete and see who does the best. In the chat, the fun part for you guys, you get to compete against these traders. You have the same rules as they do. There's a $2 billion. We'll give you all the specifics, but there'll be a $2 billion market cap, so that we're not pumping and dumping tokens and being, any of that craziness. But you guys are going to be able to compete. And the exchange, though we have not confirmed the exact dollar amount yet, the exchange is going to offer a very nice reward if somebody in the chat is able to beat these traders. So we're going to put everybody to the test. It's going to be dope. We haven't seen anybody doing it. We're super excited about it. Got a lot of big names. So yeah, just wanted to throw that out there. That is coming. I believe we're going to be starting October 8th. Don't hold me to that, but I'm pretty sure that's the date that we're going to be starting. So that's like 2 weeks away.
Interesting. Keeper, that's funny. I had a concept similar to that where it was going to be one-on-one, but I really like how you're making it teams and the community can trade. That's going to be awesome. That's a great idea, dude. I like that.
Well, this is your official invite. No pressure on live, but this is your invite. Bullish, this is your invite. So you want to get in? Let's get
I'm in. Count me in. You already know.
Dope,
Yep.
dope. All right, we got 2 more people to add to the list. We're going to stay scheduled out so that we don't have any lag time for the seasons or whatnot. we're excited about it. It's going to be a lot of freaking fun. All right, cool. So let me start off with you, Bullish. We don't normally we always talk traditional markets, but a lot of times we don't get into the TA too often. Sometimes Gareth Soloway will throw some TA out on there on traditional markets, but we want to mix it up a little bit. The reality is crypto is tied to those markets, right? So talk to me about what you're seeing in traditional finance right now on the S&P, maybe the Dixie, and how do you anticipate the crypto markets possibly reacting?
Good question, man. Yeah, traded for a long time, over 14 years. That's my full-time job is day trade. So I'm pretty excited about this event we're doing because I'm the type that is in and out with trades. So I think I might have a little advantage.
Oh, he's calling it. Maybe I need to be looking to roll the dice and draft Bullish. All right, cool, got it.
But no. So here's the thing. Right now the market as a whole, S&P, QQQ, a lot of things are trading in a supply zone. That's where we've recently dipped down to with ETH, Bitcoin, S&P. We're all kind of like, you can look at the charts. I mean, that Bitcoin chart that Crusader just had up, that's a double top. That's pretty bearish. But like you said, regardless of a double top, Bitcoin's still creating higher lows. That's very bullish indicators in general. I'm not saying that Bitcoin's going to shoot to the moon tomorrow, but it's an indicator that we're moving in the right direction. Unfortunately, we still, no matter how we want to look at it, you got to look at like the political side of things too. Like there is a recession still ready to hit. We have not hit it yet. And people think like next year is going to be a big saving grace because it's election year. We're going to get absolutely destroyed next year.
During the election.
Yeah, I don't think next year is going to be a good year for the market. I still think we have inflation. It has to come down. You cannot pump a market with high inflation. So we're going to have boundaries where we're probably going to continue to get rejected at. I don't see us going lower unless we print more money or and yes, if printing the money will cause the market to end up going into stagflation, which is what you don't want. And then that's when we'll start seeing a bigger dip than we are. I think because we have quit printing money, minus the money we're giving to Ukraine, which I guess that's what's been in the reserve. So we're not printing it to give to Ukraine. But the moment any of that stuff starts to happen, then it could be very, very bad for the market. I think it's going to trade in a supply zone for probably another 6 to 8 months with small breakouts to kind of like, get the bulls back in and then disappoint them in a week. Oh, my screen dipped. There we are. To probably disappoint them a week later when they're down 10% again. I'm not very bullish on the market in the short term right now. That's why I'm glad I do day trading. I can be in and out of trades. I don't stay in trades past the actual day or the market. Long term, I think now's the time to accumulate, right? I don't think it's time to trade crypto or really trade the market unless you're advanced and you're skilled at this, because this isn't like a bull run, right? Back then, you could hold an option, a weekly option until Friday and still profit. You can't do that right now, even if
you get hammered on the delta, right?
Yeah, you're getting hammered on the delta. So like you could hold the same option. Say you get a $200 SPY or we'll say what SPY's 430 today. I think it is closing at. So say you get a 440 SPY option, right? 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, that would increase in value into a Friday, right? You buy that same option today, it will literally be decreased in value the following day because the way the delta is. So that plays in a big into the way the market is either bullish or bearish. So it's still bearish sentiment, but it's in a movement towards bullishness, right? Still very bearish with political and the macros and the micros involved. But I think what's propping up the market is the trust in a variable asset than their own government. So I think a lot of people are trusting a fluctuating asset as the market and as crypto more than they trust their dollar. So I think that's what's propping the market up right now, is that politically our country does not agree with majority of what's going on. And people that don't agree don't want to participate in that. And by participating in that is being the guy that has cash in his safe or gold bars in the safe. That's what I think majority of people are not doing, is they're not supporting the government, which would be having cash, using your bank, stuff of that nature. They're going
people are
to
backing out of
stocks.
that. Mhm.
Yes, they're going to physical or fluctuating investments.
Well, because
stock
they have to
market,
outperform,
S&P.
they're trying to outperform inflation, right? And
Yes,
and you
yes.
mentioned stagflation earlier, and I think it's important that people understand when stagflation happens. Let's say that we get to the point where stagflation, effectively what's happening is people stop spending money. Why do they spend money? Because they know that their money is going to be worth more 6 months from now. So they say, well, wait a minute, I could just sit here and not do anything. It's like if you knew that a car was going to be 10 grand less in 6 months, you'd say, well, I can wait 6 months, right? But the fact is our economy revolves around velocity of money. And if the money ain't moving because people know that it's going to be worth more 6 months from now, we got a problem. And so I totally agree with that analysis, Bullish, for sure. So thank you for that. We love bringing on new people. He's obviously not new to these markets, but we love bringing on new people, giving new perspectives. That was a great analysis. I appreciate that, Bullish. All right, cool. Let's go over to altcoins. So a lot of times on Mondays, we call it Magic Money Monday. We try to focus on altcoins. We got a couple articles we're going to toss in here as well today. But let me go to you, AJ. Like I said, focusing on alts. Show me one of your favorite alts right now that you're either recently have been or currently trading. And what do the setups look like?
Sure. Let me share my screen here. Click
down in the middle. You see it? Yep.
All right. You got that?
Yep. Got it.
All right. So this right here is Chainlink. This is a 5-day chart. Keep in mind, it's a 5-day. I am super big on Chainlink. If you have learned about the CCIP, the cross-chain interoperability protocol, Chainlink is not just making a bridge between DeFi and DeFi. Chainlink is making a bridge between TradFi and DeFi. And I am extremely bullish on Chainlink moving forward into this next bull run. It's in my top 5 of crypto picks, like to accumulate for the long term. And even if we look at the setup, like just right here. So basically, if we look at like, here's 2022 over here, right? And, we come all the way down this hill. And now since, what is that right there? Since May of 22, Chainlink has essentially traded inside of this range right here. From May of 22 to right now, Chainlink has done nothing except trade inside of this range. And on the 2-day chart, I mean, it's put in a higher low from, the beginning of September. It's coming up in the momentum oscillators on Market Cypher B. Definitely headed in the up direction on a 2-day chart, a 5-day chart, a 5-day chart, what you see on the indicators and everything means way more on a 5-day than it would on a 1-day or a 4-hour or what have you. And say even if Chainlink continues to trade inside of this range, but comes off this lower high, if it comes off this higher low and then goes up to the top of this range here, say just retest the top of that range, that's a 23% gain if it once again retests this, and it's headed up. Like this thing has been moving very well. I read an article just a couple days ago how it has outperformed Bitcoin and Ethereum in the past week. I mean, all bullish signs point to Chainlink for me right now. I'm big on this coin moving forward.
Yeah, I like that you are talking about how Chainlink's an oracle. It's taking information from one place and putting it to another. And we need to remember that I've been talking about this, hey, utilitarian, crypto solving problems, blockchain solving problems, and Chainlink's definitely one. We've got to get information off the blockchain onto the blockchain. So it's just
mandatory. And shout out to Crypto Al in the chat, said, I just opened up a short-term short on Link. No offense. And that's okay because, hey, Al, you could totally, I don't know what the short-term setup looks like, but, I was looking at a 5-day chart. When you're looking at, 5-day charts, you're not worried about the short scalp trading. Al, I hope you win that trade, and you probably will. I'm looking at a macro setup here. So, but best of luck to your trade, Al.
Yeah, for sure. Best of luck to everybody that's out there trading. Again, just a reminder, we got the trading wars coming up, and you're gonna be competing. So we'll see what everybody's got. I saw somebody earlier. I pulled it up. Said that they're. I think basically it's somebody that's been following us for a while. I forget who said it, but basically said they're gonna put the smackdown on everybody in here. So we're gonna find out. We are gonna find out. All right, let me touch just a real quick article because I have a question for you, Evan. We have a big thing happening this week. 4.8 billion Bitcoin and ETH option expiries. How will Bitcoin and ETH price be affected? I'm just going to touch a little bit of this. As Bitcoin approached 26,000 mark with a 2.06% drop in the last 24 hours, investors focused on Bitcoin and ETH options that will expire this week. According to CoinDesk, a total of 1,217 million Bitcoin and ETH options worth $4.8 billion will expire on leading crypto options exchange Deribit. So check this out. It says, usually the most important period in terms of volume and value is the last quarters. At this point, for example, a total of $5.2 billion of options expired last March and a total of $5.4 billion in June. The current quarter remains consistent with previous quarters in 2023. This September, the $3 billion Bitcoin option and $1.8 billion ETH option will expire, and the max pain point level will be close to current price levels. Okay, so let me ask you this, AJ. So the max pain point it was talking about, and for those of you that don't know, actually, I'll just let Evan explain it. But Evan, explain what the max pain point is so that people understand if they don't already. And then tell me this. Do you think, like, is this something that you pay close attention to? Are you, with all that's happening in the markets, is this going to be a pivotal moment for the upside or downside, short to midterm, as it relates to Bitcoin and or Ethereum?
Yeah, so obviously options are more new to cryptocurrency for obvious reasons. I mean, a lot of the exchanges have just started doing options on Bitcoin kind of within the last 2 years. Around 2021 is where that started to come to get kind of fruition. And typically, you want to, it's a news type thing. The options expiring, that's a news type thing. And you want to see the news in the view of the charts. Now, typically when you have some big event like this, most likely you will see some type of volatility, especially when Bitcoin hasn't done anything in a while. And let's just look at the charts. Let me show you what I'm kind of looking at right here.
Yeah.
Ultimately, the main rare bearish sign we're seeing right now in Bitcoin, this doesn't mean Chainlink can't pump up. This doesn't mean there can't be islands that pump up within this, but you have a trigger wave to the downside in Bitcoin. This kind of coincides. This confirms in 5 days at the end of the month. This kind of coincides with this option expiry to potentially, I hope this doesn't happen, but we got to be objective to potentially have a drop down. And right now you're at this major level. This is a volume area low at around 26.2. This has been just a major level. And the reason it's relevant is typically when you break out of a certain area. Now, we did come down. We broke out of it here. We jumped off a 24.9, which was a huge area historically. That was the June low. I believe the last option expiry, as you mentioned, was around this area. So just a significant area right there. Then we came back up. If you do lose this level again, and you got to look at this too. I mean, we tested this 1, 2, 3, 4, kind of 5 times now. If you lose this area again, your next technical target is going to be around that 24K area, down to potentially 23, as a lot of people, including Garrett Solway, have talked about that 23K area. So it could be the catalyst down to that point. And the last thing I'll show you right here is, VWAP coming down on the 3-day. This money flow looks like it wants to come down quite a bit more. There's no real signs of a major jump right here, even on the 2-day. And you're getting that red dot. Money flow is coming up, but it's kind of like invalidating this bullish div right here. So my guess is that maybe a lot of people trying to go long, off of this kind of double bottom may get maybe a little out of luck here as we do lose that area and potentially come down to 23 right now. So that's my best guess here.
Yeah. And I just wanted to touch on real quick, the max pain point is just the point at which the most people are going to lose. And so it pushes, a lot of times the market will push towards that number. And the number is, I didn't look
it's like
25.6.
25.6.
I think it might be 25.8, 26K. It's somewhere.
That's high.
Yeah, it's somewhere right in there. And so it's not far.
Yeah, it's not far at all.
Yeah, it's not far. So let me ask, Bullish, is this something that you pay attention to? I know you're heavy into crypto too. Are you paying? I know you do lots of option stuff in traditional markets. Do you mess with options as it relates to the crypto markets as well?
I like to do longs and shorts, but for me, like the only thing I trust when I sleep is, like where I got my long investments in, and that's what I own. I'm not taking any type of long or short on it. So in this case, like I think you're going to see the volatility prior to the option expiry, just like it has been over the last 2.5 years since options was introduced to the crypto space.
Yeah.
Prior to that, it was, I think you could do 1, 3, 9, 12-hour longs and shorts. Now you can hold expiries, for months at a time. I think we'll see volatility going into the expiries. I mean, look, man, like I said before, like we're trading in a supply zone. If we did dip to 23,000 within 24 hours, you're probably going to be right back up into the 25K plus range. It would be probably one of those wick buys where people are fishing down that low for just in case. But, you know, you probably have so many buy orders down that low that it's going to dip and wick right back up. So that is potential, but I don't think the options are going to be a major impact like people think it is, because it wasn't last time. Look at the last expiry in last June. Bitcoin fucking pumped. It pumped right after the options expired. So I think it's going to be the same thing here. I don't think we're going to see a significant pump because, like I said, the recession scares weren't here last year. They are here now. And the thing is, they're a lot closer than they were. So I think we got to take into consideration a lot of the other things going around in the world, not just what the chart's reading, because, you know, I'm a trader based solely off of the chart. And let me tell you something, I've been trading for over 14 years. This is the first year where like I don't even go by candlesticks or the chart. I'm going strictly by what the news is.
You're paying
because that's how the market's just trading. It's trading solely based off of news. Like, you know, you can go on these charts all day long. I mean, look at ETH. You know, if you want to play, you want to be about charts. Ethereum, back on, let's see, when we double bottomed on the 12th. I mean, realistically, you want to play candlesticks. We should have went retested 1750, but we couldn't even break above the 5-day moving average. So,
wow.
You know, I
people are scared for sure.
Yeah. So I don't see it being a huge impact. I think it's going to be, you know, it just whatever. It is what it is. You know?
I agree. I think it's going to pump to like maybe 30K the most. And we're just going to start bouncing between that range, whatever the bottom is in the mid 20s and 30. I don't think we're going to crack 30 even with this expiration.
What do you think, AJ?
I mean, I know that the stock market isn't exactly tethered to crypto. Like correlation is not causation by any stretch of the imagination. But I still think in the past couple of years, as more Wall Street money has integrated itself into crypto, that the correlation is a little bit more relevant now than it was, say, 5 years ago. So I always like to look at like the stock market. This chart I prefer is the ES1 exclamation point or the E-mini futures chart. I could even pull that chart really fast on my screen here.
Go ahead.
Yeah, sure. ES1. All right. Pop. So this here is the 2-day chart for the ES1. So this yellow line here, this is the downtrend of 2022, early 2023. We have broken out of that downtrend and we're up in an uptrend. And then so here, the first time of really all year, we kind of have a higher low and we're coming down to retest this trend line on the ES1. It's coming down in the momentum. On the momentum oscillators, the RSIs are gapped. The price is above the point of control on the visible range volume profile. I mean, as a 20 -5 on the dual band strength index. This is 100%, in my opinion, going to retest this trend line. And it has already put in a lower low from this last little time it dipped down. So like it's starting to really break structure. And my eyes are pretty glued to this chart in terms of, you know, if it loses this trend line that it has built, you know, even from, you know, last September, that cannot be good for crypto by any stretch of the imagination, especially with the DXY chart going up the way it has been in the last little while. I mean, if the dollar is gaining strength, even if the market has recently paused, I don't really felt like we felt the full effect of the interest rates that they did previously in the year. So, I mean, that might be baked into the price, but that kind of remains, that doesn't really matter considering that the dollar is still gaining strength. That's taking it out on the markets, which consequently takes it out on Bitcoin, which consequently takes it out on altcoins. So, I mean, I agree, like with Bullish Trader, I think that next year might not be what everyone wants it to be. I mean, based off the Bitcoin halving cycle, you know, November 25 has been the target if that continues the pattern. But there's no promise that this year has to be bullish. There's no promise that next year has to be bullish. I kind of feel like it could be a little bit more bullish because on an election year, they want to like paint a picture like everything's totally fine. But at the same time, like crypto still has a long way to go with regulations and it still has a long way to go to mass adoption. And like, I mean, the people that are going to like ride or die with crypto no matter what. Like we're here for it, but you have to consider like the mindset towards crypto from like the mass populace and like what they think is like if it really becomes that political of a topic or not, which it has been more and more. But no, this next couple of years is going to be really, really interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting for sure. I've been paying attention, obviously, and many of you that have followed myself and Crusader for any amount of time, you know that we pay attention to what's happening, you know, as it relates to politics, et cetera, as Bullish was talking about. It's super freaking important. I don't know what's going to happen. None of us really do, but it's the first time that somebody's brought up on the show specifically, like, hey, not so sure that this is going to play out the way that it normally does. And it'll be really interesting to see how the basically how does the government basically prop up our economy if even in an election cycle, like are they looking for something to be able to point at, to be able to, you know, set themselves. There's always these backdoor games that are being played when there's an election year, and usually, like I said, they're pumping it up, but maybe that's not what's going to happen. I'll tell you somebody who is bullish. First of all, smash the like if you haven't already. If you guys aren't following Bullish Trader, AJ Writes Crypto, Evan Aldo, you're wrong. Fix it. Make sure that you guys are subscribed as well. Hit the bell notification. Do all of the things that are free for you to do on YouTube. We appreciate it. All right, cool. I'll tell you somebody that's bullish, and he's all the time bullish. Crusader, I got a question for you about this man right here. We have Raul Paul. He says, ex-Goldman executive says liquidity. Hey, let me pause real quick. Can you guys mute, please? I don't know who it is, but somebody's echoing. Can you guys mute if you're not talking? Thank you. Ex-Goldman executive, there it goes, gone. Ex-Goldman executive says liquidity injection will ignite explosion in crypto space amid rapid building. Former Goldman Sachs executive Raul Paul says the next wave of global liquidity will likely send the crypto space into a frenzy. In a new discussion with Real Vision, Paul says he's encouraged by the sheer number of people working on interesting projects in the crypto space at the recent Token 29 conference in Singapore. And I'm just going to read a brief part of this. If you step back, the space attracts an astonishing amount of smart people. I've never seen anything like it. So Crusader, he goes on and basically talks about there is a lot of just development happening in the space. That combined with the Bitcoin happening, with all of the other bullish narratives, like some people were thinking, yeah, exactly, the spot ETF happening, maybe possibly if we're wrong with what we were just saying as it relates to an election year. Like there's a lot of things that could really line up for this to just pop. Do you agree with this? Do you disagree with this? Talk to me about what you think. Is there going to be a liquidity injection and just blast off, or are we going to play some freaking big boy, big girl games?
No, I think that I agree. I don't know what he was trying to get at. Hold on, give me a second. For whatever reason, I can't flip.
I can't do it either. I was just trying to pull you over.
There we go.
There it is. All right, cool.
For whatever reason, I don't know what he was trying to say exactly was going to inject globally, but I do think there's lots of institutional players worldwide. Just in Japan, just the other day that came out, one of their largest institutions, Nomura, I think their name is, could be totally butchering that, is getting into Bitcoin as well, right? The signal has been fired off with BlackRock saying we're getting into Bitcoin, and I think that has signaled a lot of countries, a lot of institutions all around the world that if they're getting in, they need to be planning to get in if they're not already getting ready. They just recently came out with some news about, Coinbase holding a ton of Bitcoin, being possibly the largest holder of Bitcoin out there. And they've partnered up with BlackRock to do the whole custodian thing. And how many OTC deals does Coinbase constantly be doing all the time? So I think there is going to be a global injection. I think the fact that the US dollar is starting to show weakness, is starting to show, right? Even though the Dixie might be up right now and is relatively strength, the fact is we're $33 trillion in debt. That debt is continuously increasing. We talked about in the last 4 months, we increased it by 1 trillion, right? It's only getting worse. It's not going to get better anytime. And we're not printing money, right? Like Bullish said, we're not printing money right now. Yet somehow we're still spending a ton of money. And there's no way we can undo the scars that the dollar is holding right now since the fog around the world hit, printing like 80% of all circulating dollars, right? They can't do a crunch of liquidity so far to undo that, because that would crash the entire economy. We need velocity all the time. So I think all these things coming together, the halving coming, the ETF signal, from BlackRock are all the signs you need that countries are saying we need an alternative. And if the US dollars is not going to be what it used to be, we need to find something else. Maybe it's Bitcoin, maybe it's precious metals, but they're making plays, they're making moves to trying to figure out what the alternative is going to be. And I'm not saying that they're all just going to start backing their currencies with Bitcoin, but they are going to start buying some just in case. MicroStrategy keeps buying, right? Like I don't want to keep harping on the BlackRock thing, but the fact that BlackRock doesn't fail at getting ETFs and they're jumping in, any other company, any other institution in the world that knows anything about finance is gonna follow that lead. Why would they? Why would they bet against BlackRock and go, well, I'm not gonna get Bitcoin? That sounds like total trash to me, right? When the biggest company or hedge fund manager, whatever it is, asset manager, is getting involved.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think we need. I want to caution people about something as well. And I've said this before on the show, but when you have an asset manager like BlackRock coming in, they play big boy, big girl games, right? And so I've told people before, we've talked about this, how if you think that it's just going to blast off and go up into the right and never come back, I don't think you're right, because they are going to. They're trying to not just follow what's happening. They're trying to lead the way. And how do they do that? From taking everybody else's freaking money, right? And so ultimately, they're going to want to use people as exit liquidity, not just retail traders, but other institutions as well. So I think that as these massive, massive institutions continue to buy into these markets, we're going to see, and I want to ask Bullish about this, we're going to see the big boy, big girl games. Bullish, you and I had a conversation. Actually, me, you, and Crusader had a conversation when we were down in Miami, and we were talking about some of the institutional investors and the way that they do things and they handle things and kind of the getting in early and blah, 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 blah. Talk to me about what some of these I'm calling big boy, big girl games that these institutions play as it relates to trading.
Yeah. So, for me, being in the market as long as I've been, the big boys getting involved is never a good sign for people wanting their bags pumped. Here's the thing, man. You're definitely in a good position if you would have bought Bitcoin 10 plus years ago, right? But
Wouldn't we all?
But here's the thing, like same thing with Tesla. Look how many people missed Tesla at $40, right? So I feel like that opportunity is physically gone for the crypto space, all right? Unless you're trading some shit coins, or you buy some coin that was trading at $100 in the last bull run, it's down under 10, and it could 100x on the next bull run. But I think over this last couple of years, a lot of people have put a lot more trust in the Bitcoin and Ethereum. And those are just where people feel their money is very safe, regardless of the influx up or down. It's a very safe asset investment. The safer asset an investment becomes as an investing asset, the less it triggers massive injections into the market to make it pump ridiculously high. And it also kind of stops the news that completely destroying it and taking it down. I mean, there's despite of a BlackRock ETF, all of this stuff, there is still more negative news in the cryptocurrency world than there is positive. And I think because of BlackRock and these big institutions now taking on, it's creating a secure asset for you. So in my opinion, when that happens in the market to particular stocks, it's hard to make a massive gain off of it and quote unquote position yourself for maybe a 20, 30x, right? So I think it's good and bad at the same time. It's going to do a lot of onboarding for a lot of normies, a lot of people that were afraid of the crypto world. Or for us that are like, okay, let's throw, buy Bitcoin now, because like when that spot ETF goes off, we're going back to 60K. I think that's a bad mindset to keep. I think we have a long run back up to all-time highs. Nothing that's going to be where we wake up tomorrow and we got big green candles. I don't even think the news of BlackRock or a spot Bitcoin ETF will affect that. Just because of the fact that now by doing that, you're making it a comfortable asset. When assets start getting comfortable, they don't perform like they did when it was us degens pushing the market up. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a GME. Look what happened to GME, you know?
Yeah,
And,
the only pushback I would say to that is I agree with what you're saying, but to the extent of that's going to come after the spot ETF has been fully matured and put out there. That maturity in Bitcoin, that we're no longer going to see a massive rise in Bitcoin, right? And the upside or downside. But I think the liquidity injection from the spot ETF will increase Bitcoin's price, that we're never going to see a 25K Bitcoin again. We're never going to see a 30K Bitcoin again. That's the only contrary I would have to that.
I definitely agree with both of you on kind of for different reasons. I think what Bullish is saying, at least the way I'm interpreting it, is he's saying the time for the millionaire overnight stuff is basically over unless you're just freaking playing some of these crap coins and you do something wild and get lucky, right? He's saying to be an overnight millionaire in Bitcoin is not a reality. You would already have to be a multimillionaire and then make some millions on your 100%, 200%, 500%. We're still going to see exponential gains from the crypto markets. It's just a lot different than buying Bitcoin at $50. You know what I mean? And now we're at 25K and we're all scared, right? Those times are over. The market caps have gotten too huge. So, hey, I just want to tell.
But the only other thing to that would be also that whoever can accumulate one full Bitcoin in today's
for long term, it's going to be beautiful.
Yeah, for the long term, nobody's going to accumulate a full Bitcoin after the spot ETF. Yeah. Whoever didn't get a full Bitcoin after that, it's over.
It's going to be tough.
Nobody's going to accumulate a full Bitcoin. So if you're talking dollar-wise or movement-wise, I agree. But accumulation of the asset itself, no one's going to have more than a Bitcoin after that spot ETF is launched.
And that is why we are. You going to do it or am I going to do it? There we go. Crusader and I are over here trying to do the same thing, just tossing each other back and forth. And that's why we got into mining Bitcoin down in Paraguay. I mean, ultimately, it made sense for us to be able to try to continue to stack in the meantime as that's happening. So, crypto fam, everybody, Crusader, I just sent you over just a couple of things on Telegram. Make sure that you pull those up. I have to take my daughter to swimming lessons. So, everybody, I love you guys. Crypto fam, the show's not over. I'm just letting you know. I am jumping out. Family comes first. That's why we do these things, right? For our family and to be able to spend more time. So I have a Monday date with my daughter. She takes precedence. I love you guys. I will catch you guys soon. So have a good day.
Later, brother.
Take it easy, bro. Now that Keeper's gone, he goes on his little mini vacations. Now the show can really start. So the articles he sent me, he's talking about Elon Musk is teasing something here. See what he's teasing. Let me share my screen.
It's probably Dogecoin payments. Am I right?
Yeah, something about Dogecoin. So,
Knew it.
Look, it's a big secret, but he's a huge Dogecoin holder. I'm talking about Keeper. He likes all that meme coins.
Oh,
Elon Musk
okay.
is teasing next big X update to chat with Dogecoin. I think that we don't even need to really dive into this. We already all know that he's been, talking about making Twitter or X a WeChat competitor from China, having financial products being involved in the platform, being able to trade stocks, being able to trade, possibly trade crypto at some point, even tipping. When that happens, obviously, he's always been the proponent of Dogecoin. So do you guys believe, and I'll just open this up for everyone, and we'll start off with you, AJ. Do you believe that Dogecoin is going to have a rise in price if he does bring Dogecoin into the platform? Or is he just going to be teasing this Dogecoin coming onto the platform forever?
I mean, obviously, if Dogecoin became Dogecoin payments on Twitter, we would get that pump 1,000%. I mean, obviously, I think that's why people are accumulating it, because, they have Elon. Like, Elon's, always kind of been pushing that project, just little tweets here and there, and even his tweets have mattered less as time has gone by. But I remember Elon would tweet about Dogecoin, back in 21, and it would just boom. So there is that possibility that it could become the payments platform. I mean, for Twitter, we know, they have licenses for crypto and stuff like Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. It's building towards having some sort of payment platform with crypto. We just don't know what that looks like yet. So really, once we get a bigger idea of to the extent crypto will be integrated into it, and if it is exclusively Dogecoin, or if Dogecoin is one of the coins or whatever. I mean, obviously I see Doge getting bullish, a sentiment from that alone, obviously. My problem personally with Dogecoin, and the reason I won't hold it, is because aggressive inflation schedule. Ballpark like 14 million Doge are minted every day.
Yep.
And if you think about, tokenomics and how much more the market cap has to chase the supply up the hill, that's not the kind of coin I want to hold. I want to be in a project that's, 80 to 99% vested, or their schedule is basically completed. You know what I'm saying? That's why projects like Quant. I'm really big on Quant just because its tokenomics are so good. So when you take a real deep dive into the Doge tokenomics, you kind of start scratching the back of your head like, I don't really know. Not saying it won't pump. It probably will. But the idea of Doge going to $1 or anything like that, probably not.
Yeah, dude, I totally agree. I think that Doge can definitely pump again in the next cycle, right? With the next bull market, with Elon's hype of it. If he definitely integrates it, definitely can do something like that. But Bullish, I want to get your thoughts on it, and then we'll jump to Evan. And Evan, maybe you can show us in the chart what you're seeing for Dogecoin, maybe in the short term. So, Bullish, what are your thoughts on this whole Dogecoin fiasco?
Yeah, man. I mean, I think AJ painted a really good picture. I agree with everything he said. I don't even see Doge going to 30 cents again. My personal opinion. Yeah, I don't even see it. Maybe 15. I would say that, but that would be something serious. And I think even if Elon integrated Dogecoin into the platform on X, I don't even think that you might get a 10-20% pump out of that. I don't see no 100% pumps coming from Doge, just because of what AJ said is, 14 million plus tokens are being minted on a daily basis. And the amount of money that you would need to inject into Dogecoin itself would be greater asset than Bitcoin at that point. You would need more. You need 3-4 times Bitcoin's market cap injected into Doge to see a 70-cent Doge again. And at that point, why is there a dollar bill? Why even Bitcoin then? Let's just use Doge for everything. And I think those like mechanics that are laid out are just not going to let that token get to where people are thinking it's going to go in the next bull run. And I personally think a lot of people are going to be extremely disappointed. That is not an asset that I would personally hold myself.
Yeah, dude, I agree. Maybe with the level of inflation it has, the only way it's going to hit to $1 if it gets its own BlackRock spot ETF. But Evan, what are you seeing in the chart, man? What are you seeing for Doge and the Doge traders out there?
Yeah, so just to start off, I think AJ and the Bullish Trader had some amazing points in that. Fully agree. When we look at the chart here, it kind of, you're at a major point right here, and you've been kind of in this area for, this kind of, pattern since really February 21, where you had your last jump up and then you've bounced around. Now, obviously, you're either going to break up or break down out of this formation, and there's a few different ways we could do this. Now, this is going to be like our Armageddon scenario, like worst possible case scenario. Armageddon, Doge is dead. No one cares about it anymore. Half a cent. Our craziest scenario, I don't know, Doge takes over Bitcoin and market cap back to 78 cents. That would be some crazy trajectory into the next bull run, assuming everything possibly that could go right for Doge does go right for Doge. I don't know what's going to happen. I think fundamentally it's kind of stupid to use a very inflationary currency that's currently down. Let's see how much this is down. That's currently down 91% as a payment processor on Twitter. Like, why wouldn't you just use Bitcoin? It's kind of stupid in that aspect. If we want a more realistic kind of prediction, from this point that we've been bouncing in since October of 2022, if you break down from there, potentially 2 cents could be where you're ending up. And that's what I would say could happen to a lot of altcoins. Probably not 63% down for a lot of other alts, but you may have 40 to 50% corrections down for altcoins, especially if Bitcoin goes down to 20K, high teens or low 20s again. Altcoins can continue to bleed as they did last time, all the way into the pandemic of March of 2020. So potentially we could see that into early next year. When we zoom in on some of these charts right here, I mean, yellow X's galore, kind of. I mean, usually they come in 3s or 4s. It was 3 right here. I mean, if you follow this pattern, potentially you could have 2 more on the way down to this area into later this year, early next year, approximately at 2 cents. Also, when I talk to people about Doge, I hear a lot. It's a lot of people I went to college with, a lot of people I went to high school with that don't really care about crypto, and they're just trying to like, oh, let's buy Doge, let's get rich and all that. usually, you know, despite popular belief, usually those people don't do too well in the crypto markets and are just trying to like chase price in one way or the other, or just chase the news. So yeah, when I look at Doge right now, we're on some thin ice here. For the short term, yeah, you're hitting this point again. Potentially you could jump up a bit, maybe up to 6.5 cents or something if the whole market comes up a bit. But I think inevitably you probably will come down. And I do think that the max pain of Doge is not over with. It's a weird one. Like a lot of people hold this on Robinhood wallets. If we do kind of go into recession, I feel like this could be kind of more correlated with the S&P 500. We go into recession, a lot of people, you know, are forced to sell because they're on their Robinhood wallets, bringing this down potentially another 50, 60%. That's what I think would happen. Also, the last thing I want to mention here is we got to realize Elon Musk's track record with crypto is abysmal, terrible. You know, SpaceX sold their Bitcoin, Tesla sold their Bitcoin. I mean, if you're just looking at what Elon Musk has done instead with crypto in the last, you know, year and a half, you know, since Tesla first sold Bitcoin, you would think crypto doesn't even have that much of a future. He said, like, I would not bet too much on crypto. So I don't know what that deal is. I think he just kind of is forced to sell because of the, you know, the subsidies that they get with Tesla and that complicated kind of thing.
I think he got a few taps in the shoulder and was like, hey, you know, that whole Bitcoin narrative you're pushing out there, slow it down, buddy.
Yeah.
You want to keep getting those carbon credits and subsidies.
Yeah, exactly.
Slow it down.
Yeah.
Also, you know, a big thing too, to piggyback on what you said, Evan, you know, I think what is very obvious in this market as well is every time Bitcoin or Ethereum crashes, yes, Bitcoin and Ethereum eventually do kind of retake, you know, major supports. But if you go to the altcoin world, the altcoins are not getting revived as Bitcoin and Ethereum are getting revived. You know, Bitcoin and ETH are crashing, altcoins are crashing, altcoins are not coming back. They're just now they're at a lower area trading in that zone. As Bitcoin and ETH moves up, those altcoins are not following trend. So I think, you know, for me, watching Bitcoin crash however many times over the last 2 years alone, you've never seen a real comeback with Doge, you know, and I feel like Doge has been more on the consistently downside than it has going into the uptrend. So, you know, we got to take that into factor too.
Yeah, that's a great point, bringing out the fact that the altcoins definitely are in a lot more pain than Ethereum and Bitcoin as they drop. And there's no guarantee that any of these altcoins are going to come back. Right? There's always altcoins that drop off and they die out. The project dries out and people just stay holding the bag forever thinking that it was going to come back, and it doesn't. And Dogecoin, it is the longest lasting meme coin, but there is no guarantee that the meme coin is going to keep pumping to new all-time highs every single cycle that it comes out because of the inflation rate, because of the problems that it has built in. But talking about markets, go ahead, AJ.
Yeah, I just wanted to kind of go off what you said. Like, I was just having a conversation about this same thing. Like, you know, how every cycle, Ben and a couple of weeks ago, Ben and I did a video about how much the top 10 crypto coins by market cap have changed year to year to year from 2013 all the way down, right? And very interesting, like how many coins, you know, were top 5 coins that no longer exist. Like, I think it was like the survival rate is like 36% from 2013 on to stay inside the top 10. Something like, I forget the exact number. But anyway, the point I'm building to here is that the coins that, like, you're totally right. Some altcoins will fall off the face of the earth, but it's also really important to point out the altcoins that have real world integrations that will keep those projects like well above water. Coins that I am not at all worried about going away. You know, I thinking about Chainlink, thinking about HBAR, Quant. I'd even go as far to say Algorand, considering how many real world assets, how many real world integrations they have. I like to look at the coins that are kind of used for payment platforms, like that are going to be utilized by other countries, other ecosystems. Cardano is even one of them. And because those coins are going to survive based off of the fact that people are actually using them. So I would always really go into, well, like I could literally go down the list of altcoins and like there would be a case for why this coin is definitely staying or why this coin could disappear. And I think people really got to have that conversation with themselves.
Dude, 100% agree with that, right? There is ones that have the test of time and they just have real life utility. They just will continue, but there's massive companies with massive funding behind them that keep going, but that's not the same case for all the altcoins. But it's a great point that you bring up, right? Not all the altcoins are doom and gloom. Like they say, 99%, 95% of altcoins will die, but there will be a handful that do survive at the end of it all. But talking about markets surviving and dying out, let's switch the topic here to NFTs a little bit, right? NFTs have been hit with, the SEC coming after a few projects, declaring them securities. But do you guys, first off, before we even get into the security thing, do you guys believe that the NFT market is going to come back in this next cycle, right? We've had the first real bull cycle for NFTs ever, but can they survive this bear market and come back in this next bull market? AJ, why don't we start with you?
Sure, man. So, I mean, for me with NFTs, I never looked at NFTs like as, oh, I'm going to buy this at 1 ETH and sell it for 3. Like, like I never did that with NFTs. Like, I know people who do. I kind of feel like day trading crypto is, I don't know, it's easier for me to day trade a coin, leverage trade, whatever, than it is trying to be in the Discord, look in the Telegram, get the like flipping NFTs is a lot more work than people make it out to be. Unless like you're in like the perfect group chat, I don't know. But with that being said, I mean, I just bought a Sappy Seal, a month or two ago at Rare Evo in Denver. And I bought that Sappy Seal because the Sappy Seal community is awesome. I met their founder, Wob. And like if I go on Twitter right now and I post a picture of my seal and type ARF, the comments will go ARF, 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 ARF the whole way down. And that is why I like NFTs, because of the community. Like a couple other communities I really like Canpai Pandas. Canpai Pandas is a super cool NFT project because they're heavily integrated into the fight game. You can get tickets to UFC. You can change like whatever your NFT looks like. If you don't like its hat, you can put it on a different hat. You can change its shirt in the metadata, stuff like that. There are NFT projects out there, Sappy Seals, Canpai Pandas, as an example, where I like these projects and I think they will survive because of the community. That's it. The community aspect is the most important part of NFT. There really aren't that many projects in NFT world that be like, there are like a lot of little niche projects, especially like HBAR NFTs, Algorand NFTs, stuff like that, where it's like a group of people who are all friends. But then when we're really talking about moving up to like the Bored Ape Yacht Club type NFT, like I don't know even if there is an NFT project out there right now that will like be comparable to that. I kind of think the next wave of NFTs is going to be slightly like a different medium moving into the next bull run. I kind of think it's going to move away from just like profile pictures of lions or whatever. It's going to take its own shape as we evolve into the future. But with that being said, that doesn't mean there's not profitability there, but I buy NFTs specifically just to be in a community, and that is all.
Dude, I completely agree. I just want to say a quick shout out to K-Dub in the house. What's going on, man? I appreciate you being in the chat. I agree. I get into NFTs for the community, and the community is one of the massive things of the utility of certain projects. Right? You're joining an exclusive club that's trying to accomplish a certain mission, a certain goal, like-minded individuals that you go hang out with, right? If you like going out shooting and going to a range, you're joining it almost kind of like an NFT club. You're joining a range, you're getting a membership, and you're going out there with like-minded people do like-minded activities. But you mentioned Yuga Labs, and I know Bullish, you hold a few. I want to ask you, right? The Mutant Ape Club, the mutants have dropped down to like below 5 ETH right now. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm looking at those and I'm like, maybe I buy one, right? I mean, that's the cheapest I've ever seen it. What do you say to the people that are either interested in the Bored Ape Yuga Lab assets? What do you see happening in the Yuga Lab assets in general? Are they going to come back? Or are they just slowly coming down like any other NFT? What are your thoughts?
So, good question. Yeah, very heavily invested into Yuga. I have right now. I have 3. I got rid of most of my shit. I sold all. I had 17 mutants. I sold all those. I'm just down to 3 Bored Apes, and that's it. A lot of ape coin. And my biggest thing with them is like December 2026, right? 2025. 2025. I'm selling my shit off probably a month or so before that. Because the correlation right now, if you guys notice, go look at ApeCoin, go look at the Bored Ape Yacht Club floor, go look at the Mutant floor. The floor has actually moved with ApeCoin because the reason why people buy a Bored Ape right now is because they can get their money back in 1 year for it. So as ApeCoin keeps going down, 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 and down, it's not making sense for me as an investor, which is what majority is in now the Bored Ape Yacht Club investors. Why would I spend $150,000 on a JPEG when it gives me the option to stake and earn a reasonable income? You know, like you can literally not have to work just staking Bored Apes, right? But why would I pay $150,000 for it to only make $25,000 a year? You know, it doesn't make sense. So what makes sense is literally where Bored Ape sits right now. It makes sense to spend $37,000 on a Bored Ape because with ApeCoin at $1.10 to $1.14 price range, it takes you about 13, 14 months to make your money back. So I think that correlation is too heavily connected to the collections. So I don't see the floors of Bored Ape doing anything unless ApeCoin can make a move too. Because at this point, why the hell am I paying $37,000, then another $8,000, then another $1,000 on the other side, then another $5,000 on an HVTML? Why am I spending all this fucking money to play a video game?
Yeah.
And go into a metaverse, right? It makes no sense, no fathomable sense. Or you're not going to pitch that to somebody on the street, bro. Like, look, $100,000, you can play in the metaverse. Come on.
Yeah, for sure. That's one of the
know?
biggest problem with metaverse games are the entry price, the entry barrier is too high with these NFTs being extremely, extremely expensive. But I want to hit you with a follow-up with the Bored Ape. I don't know if you know or not, but I'm not 100% sure. What are the tokenomics for the ApeCoin? Is ApeCoin super inflationary? Is it do you see it having some type of run in the next, bull cycle? Or like, is it a strong coin to be holding? What are your thoughts on the ApeCoin scenario in general?
I $25 again? No, I don't see that happening. Could we see a $5 ApeCoin? I'm pretty bullish on $5 again. Just because we survived the 11 million I think it was 30-some% of the supply got pushed out into the market a few days ago. And we didn't drop under $1. I was literally like, if we go under $1, I don't even think we'll hit 5 again. We sustained. There was actually a nice little pump. There was like a 7-8% pump. So I could see a $5 ApeCoin, but right now I have 3 Bored Apes staked, and I make roughly 40 ApeCoin a day per Bored Ape, right? But that's what, $120 a day, a little over 120. Do you understand that 9 months ago, 10 months ago, when I first staked those, that was like $450, $500 a day? So like, it's if that return isn't recapitalized on, where people can have $300,000 invested into that project and make $300,000 or 100, even 150, 200, right? Just something substantially good amount of money, then it's going to provide value. As ApeCoin pumps, you can mark my words, the floor of the Bored Ape Yacht Clubs will move up with it. ApeCoin goes back to $5. I could see Bored Apes back around 55, 60 ETH. Do I see 100 ETH Bored Ape again? Absolutely not. I don't think it's going to happen, just because of the pictures painted now for Yuga. Everybody knows what they're doing, right? And it should not cost hundreds of thousands of dollars to be a part of that at this point. And I just think that's where it's at.
And to go off that, I was just looking it up, and Crypto Stevo put it in the chat. I mean, the circulating supply is 368.59 million with a total supply of 1 billion. So we're looking at a coin that's not even 37% vested. And according to the supply schedule, don't know if this chart is accurate, but it's on CoinGecko. It says it'll be fully, the inflation schedule is expected to complete on February of 2026. So that means the supply is just a little bit less than a triple between now and February 26th. That's brutal. That's going to be brutal to the price if the market cap doesn't catch up.
Yeah,
and as you move forward, every quarter, the way staking is laid out for the 3 years they had it available. See, that's funny because December 2025 is when staking ends, and then February 26 is when that happens. That's almost like a black swan event for ApeCoin. That could be really bad, actually.
That could be the time to buy. March of 2024. I think that could be a good place to look. Especially if you're down to like 50 cents or something, that could be your 10x to $5.
Yeah. And the thing is too, is what people don't understand is like us as people staking, we're actually getting diluted. So we're losing more ApeCoin per quarter for 3 years. So every 3 years we lose a certain amount of ape per asset that we have. So it's also, it's taking that ApeCoin out of people that are going to cash grab and dump, so you're kind of helping the supply there in that aspect. But I don't see past 5. If we go past 5 on ApeCoin again, it'd be blow my mind. But I think there's a chance at $5 again. I don't really see too much more after that though.
Great. That's great insight. I'm not really familiar with what's going on with the Yuga Lab assets or ApeCoin, so I appreciate it. Evan, are you into NFTs at all? If not, I have a separate question for you.
So yeah, a little bit. I mean, but what was just said was a lot of what I would say. I mean, ultimately, I think the NFTs will follow, or at least the blue chip NFTs, the one that will survive, which I mainly look at like the Bored Apes and the Mutant Apes. Mainly, I look more at the Mutant Apes because let's be real, who wants to spend? Even if you have a lot of money, who's going to spend 37K on a Bored Ape? Let's be real, come on. But the Mutant Apes, I think we could come down. I don't really look at the ETH too much, but I look at like in terms of dollar value. I think 4 or 5K I think is a really good opportunity to potentially give a shot with the Mutant Apes. 50 cents, like I said, for ApeCoin. Other than that, for a lot of like, the other blue chips like CryptoPunks, 40% down, I think would be a good place to look if you're a whale who has that type of money to put into it. Don't be stupid. Don't put your entire crypto portfolio in that. You're better off with Bitcoin. It's gambling. Let's be real. They may not do anything. I mean, it's possible. I mean, you look at some of the ones, what was the one? Logan Paul spent over $1 million on one that's worth like, what, $5,000 now or like 0. I mean, the Justin Bieber one isn't as bad. He spent $1 million on one that I think is worth 30-something K. I think it was a Bored Ape. I mean, that's not as bad. Like that theoretically could come back. I mean, that's only like 97, 98% down. Like Cardano went down 98% in the last bear market, came all the way back to making all-time highs. So that's possible. But like when people are buying something that's $1 million, now it's worth 5K. Like there's no shot now, I don't think.
I think the best thing to do if you are planning on investing into the NFT space is to get involved in projects that lending protocol platforms will let you borrow against your asset, because that holds a significant value. CryptoPunks, Bored Apes, Mutants, Azukis, DeGods, things that where even if you may get down and like you need some money, like then you can go put your asset on the lending platform and take a loan against it. I think those are personally the best investments in the NFT space right now. If you're looking for some type of actual return or have some type of collateral that's usable at any given time. But as far as that, if you're not getting into a community like we were talking about, that's all you're really going to get. You need to get into a project with a great community, so your bags don't get affected because of the people around you are worth more than what the NFT is where it's at, right? So community side, there's a way to invest in NFTs, and then there's also a way to profit in them, but you just got to be in particular assets that have collateral against them. And if I use a lot of lending platforms. That's how I trade a lot of crypto. I don't even use my own money. I don't need to anymore. You find ways to collateralize those assets. And I think that's the best way in this market right now, in this NFT market, to capitalize on the NFT space still, because there's still a lot of money here. It's just not through mints or floors pumping or things like that. It's people like me and a bunch of other people I know. They're taking their assets, they're taking a loan against it, and they're taking a long on ETH, making $50,000, paying that loan back, and now they got $50,000 profit on money that wasn't even theirs. they just collateralized it from their assets. So I think that's my personal opinion, in making money in NFTs is the best way. And quite frankly, the only way. I mean, you can tell nothing pumps. I mean, nothing pumps anymore. You might catch a 1 ETH profit on Bored Apes, but it takes you 3 weeks nowadays, if not longer. So
yeah, NFTs are down 95%. That's great insight in the NFT market, just how the Yuga Lab assets, like how to actually make money off NFTs. A lot of people think that, like you said, right, it's through mints or just through a flip of the NFT, but NFTs are very illiquid. But being able to take out loans against an asset that actually holds value on these lending platforms is the way to go. And you obviously have to do your own research and figure out how that best works, because there is risk in all of that involved. So, guys, I just want to say I greatly appreciate all of you guys taking the time to come out here and come on the show. If nobody in the chat is following these creators right now, jump down to the description. Their links are down below. Follow their Twitter, follow their YouTube channel, follow whatever socials are down below. Go and show them some love. Like I said, I appreciate all of you guys coming out here. Like always, question everything, trust nothing, and until next time, hodl like it's hot. See you guys
Later.